think this is an arse. I think they're the cheeks. I'm not sure what this is up here. I've used brown ink to paint an arse. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. A couple of weeks ago, when I was organising and decorating the studio, I came across my old art portfolio. And this is a portfolio I used when I was applying for university for my bachelor's degree. And that was probably about 8 to 10 years ago. So there's probably going to be some really old stuff in there. Stuff I haven't seen for a long time. I also don't know how organised it is or whether there's actually anything in it anymore, but we'll soon find out. But anyway, I thought it would be a really interesting idea to go through it, see what it's like, and reminisce on times gone by. Okay, let's open up this time capsule, I guess. I hope I've kept it organised. And by the way, I used to have to lug this around universities, and it's very heavy. It's a pain in the arse. Well, I haven't kept this organised at all. I haven't got enough space. Right, as you can see, it used to all be in plastic wallets, but for some reason I didn't put it back to where it's supposed to be. Is there actually any artwork in here, or is it all just plain paper? Ah, here we go. Some artwork, finally. It's so dusty and dirty. It's absolutely gross. Clearly taking good care of this. Right, so this one, I remember creating this for my A-levels, I think it was. And I was doing a study on butterfly wings and just the patterns, basically. And with this one specifically, I think I used a technique called batik. And it's basically where you drip wax on and you combine it with layers of ink. And I think I've used bleach as well. And you just build up those layers and you get different patterns. And you kind of play around with the negative and positive. I don't think I have. Do I have that sketchbook? No, I don't think I have any of my old sketchbooks. I think I got rid of them. But in the sketchbook that went along with these pieces, I used to have laminated butterfly wings, actual butterfly wings. I went to Butterfly World. I think it's in Middlesbrough, Stockton, or it used to be. I don't know whether it's still there. And I actually went there and studied them, and yeah, it's quite interesting. A bit of texture, a bit of pattern. Very colourful. I've always liked colour. See what's next. Right, I wasn't sure what this is, but it's actually a not a still life, it's a life model study. And if you can see, it's using inks, and here's the feet. This is the arms here. And it's obviously just the lower body, and it's a very abstract interpretation. I think I've used bleach again. I must have been obsessed with bleach at this time. If you look closely at the feet and the hands, you can tell I can't do feet or hands. So I used to just turn them into shapes and circles. I can't do the fingers and the toes, it's just too complicated. But it's quite an abstract, interesting little study. Okay, this is another life study, and I might have to blur this bit out for YouTube because obviously it's a penis. I don't know whether I'm allowed to show that or not, even though it's art. And yeah, it's very simplistic. Again, I think I've gone in with inks and bleach on this one. I don't know what the obsession with ink and bleach was, but yeah. The very rare time we got a male model. Right, we're getting into some smaller stuff, so I absolutely have no idea what this is. It looks very angsty. Maybe I was in a dark mood when I did this. Or it could be just that I was testing out pens and textures, I don't know. Right, I do remember this stuff that I did, and it was in my final year of my B-Tech, I think, in art and design, and I was obsessed with drawing wrapped pieces of paper and fabrics. Every morning I used to go down to the kind of cafeteria and get myself a coffee and a sausage sandwich, and that was like my breakfast, or it might be my lunch, I can't remember. And I remember wrapping a cup in the paper that the sausage sandwich came in, and this is the wooden stick where you stir your coffee, and I turned that into like a little sculpture, and I used to love drawing it and sketching it and painting it, and I don't know why, I just got really obsessed with it. And I think this is one of them. But I think this as well, I was working with Surrealism at the time. So I was working with kind of depth and trying to turn this object into something other than what it was. It was very much about transforming the mundane objects into something more interesting. But it's quite cool, I actually like that. I still remember doing it as well. Yeah, this is another one where I was working with fabrics and paper and stuff like that and drawing it again. And as you can see, that sausage sandwich coffee cup thing is still there. And I think this was a piece of wood that was wrapped in fabric that I was drawing. And again, I was working with Surrealist landscapes, and that's why it kind of looks the way it does. But it's not too bad. It kind of looks like an elephant. I have absolutely no idea what this is. I don't know which way it's supposed to go. What is it? I think it's another fabric one. It doesn't really look like anything. It just looks like a lot of pencil on paper. I think it might go this way. As you can see, I was a very abstract illustrator. It's actually really strange looking back on all my college artwork, because college was one of the best times, I think, of my entire life. I had such a good time there. And it's kind of weird because when you kind of grow and keep going with life and stuff, you reminisce on those times and you just kind of forget about how almost happy you were. It was just such a happy time. I really, really, really enjoyed that kind of period of time, and then things just went downhill. This is another butterfly piece, I think. It looks like it anyway, exploring kind of the wing patterns and the shapes and textures and the colours. I quite like this. Again, I've used the wax technique. Right, this one was probably one of the still life sessions we had, and that's a mannequin, it's not a real person. That's why it looks so weird. And my art tutor at the time used to be obsessed with assembling these still life, what they call, like, contraptions with mannequins and chairs and all sorts of different objects. And I was never a particularly good drawer, as you can see. I think I did this one in graphite, like a big chunk of graphite. That's why it's so grainy. It's something, isn't it? And as you can see, I could never get my head around blending or shading or anything like that. It's very harsh lines. This is another life drawing class. I have a feeling this might have been a challenge where we had to only have a very specific amount of time to do something and to draw something. So sometimes they would give you 10 seconds and you'd have to quickly get the lines down. And I hope that's one of these, because if it's not, then I don't know what I was doing. And again, I haven't done the feet or the hands because I can't. I'm very bad with faces as well, so you'll find with a lot of my drawings of people, I don't actually put any facial expressions on them, and I missed out on nipples for some reason as well. Right, another life modelling class again. I used to do it a lot. I think I used to do it probably every Friday. It was once a week on a night time, and I used to actually pay for the life drawing classes in addition to the course that I was already doing at college. And this was obviously a male life model. I might have to blur out the penis again. And this one was done in charcoal. And I didn't mind working in charcoal, actually. It was very messy, you used to get your fingers in and everything. I also remember when I was doing the life drawing classes, my art teacher would come over to us, and she used to be obsessed with getting your hands in and ripping paper and stuff. And there was one time where she was helping us try to blend, and she spat on her finger and was just like rubbing into my drawing and kind of trying to push me out of it, because I used to get so controlling when I was making things. So her way to reduce that and combat that was to just rip my drawing up, and she's like, rip it up and stick it back together and then go back into it. And it sounds quite extreme, but it was really helpful actually. It's not too bad. It's a bit angular up here. It's very much a square. I don't think he looked like that. I'm pretty sure I gave him a couple of extra inches on that penis too. I don't think he was that big. Oh no! Well, this is an attempt at doing face. I was trying to go for a very accurate, realist drawing, and I even attempted the face, but again, the hands and the feet I've just missed off. I haven't drawn any nipples on it for, again, some reason. Maybe I was terrified of nipples, I don't know. But the face isn't too bad. She was wearing glasses. I don't know what's happened to the nose or the mouth. And I think I got the composition right. It's not a bad drawing, actually. I don't really draw anymore. I should really get back into it. And another life model session there, just a quick charcoal drawing, I think. Again, another life drawing class. What have I used on this? Oh, I think I've used ink, but because it's on sugar paper, it's kind of all wrinkled up and it's got some textures on it, and I've turned the hands into like whisks or something. It's not too bad though. It's again very expressive, very abstract. It's kind of nice to look at these things and reminisce about it all. It's strange just how much you remember very specific times too as soon as you see an image. And this one was another surrealist kind of drawing, and I remember we had to enlarge and minimize different objects. So we had like chess pieces and obviously that art mannequin thing there. And this was a bust, it wasn't a real person. But I think I've done an alright job on that. I don't know whether the body bit looked like this. I think I might have made that up and stylized it a little bit, but it's not too bad. And we must have just been working with line for this one because I haven't even attempted any shading. It's just outlines. Okay, so this is very different. I remember making this, but I can't remember why or what it was about or when I made it. I think it was something to do with maybe experimenting with textures. So I've got lots of bits of kind of card here and some corrugated card and some mesh, and maybe building up layers. I think I've used spray paint as well and a stencil, but then I've gone in with some pencil and some inks, and I've done a lot with this. There's tape on it and all sorts. It might have actually been when we were doing something about assemblage. I think it was called assemblage. It's basically like a form of collage. It's quite interesting. It's just seems very random to me. I think this might have been A-levels, and during that time I think I got quite obsessed with spray paint and stencils at one point. Maybe it was around that time. I don't know what this is. Some sort of plant. I've got a bit of text here. Oh, this will be awful. So it says positive. These two pieces are working with the negative and positive spaces. I wanted to see which space worked best. I also started to work with a vine pattern with pencil and ink and water. I think the positive image looks and works the best. Do I now? So that's the positive one. What was the negative one? Alright, okay. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? Nowadays, I would say neither of them worked, but you know. Another colourful butterfly batik technique piece. I think I did quite a lot of these actually. Yep, another one. I experimented with trying to go down the middle and doing like half and half, so it was like a butterfly wing. I don't think I really achieved that. Another one here. Some of it's come off by the looks of things. At this point, I think this might have been again the butterfly study, but maybe I got lost with this one and just started going crazy. I don't know. It's ripped at the bottom as well. I have no idea what this is. Oh wait, there's a boob. There's a boob. I did a nipple. It must have been another life drawn class, but it's very, very dark. Quite aggressive with the graphite. Is it graphite? It is, yeah. And another life drawn study there. It looks like I've given him 2 belly buttons. The one thing I will say with this one, apart from that little detail there, the arms are actually looking quite good. And obviously I must have started the face, but I didn't quite get round to it. Again, another life drawn class, and I think these are legs. I don't know whether I've made mistakes here and given her lots of legs. I've attempted a hand here and then rubbed it out by the looks of things. Maybe I was struggling a lot in this class. But yeah, I've given her like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legs for some reason, and there's a bit of a boob there. Another life drawn class and 1 giant nipple. I think I invented that. Her boobs definitely didn't look like that. And another weird brush hand there as well. Oh, this is different. So I've got loads of text in here. I don't know what the text says. It looks like it says me. This is very strange. It looks like something you would find in maybe like a serial killer's home or something. And it's like got secret messages hidden in it. And it's got a very strange, terrifying little face down in this bottom left-hand corner. I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know what I was feeling this week. Something was going on in my mind. Yeah, I can't even actually remember doing this one either, which is quite worrying. I think it might be this way. And again, this is another one where I was drawing fabrics, and I think the cup and sausage sandwich is somewhere in there. And I think I was trying my best here with shading and trying to blend and get things in. And it's worked somewhat, but again, it's very abstract, very expressive. Oh, I've signed it as well. I don't normally sign my work. My art tutor will have hated the fact that I signed it. I don't know why. It was the same when I was at uni as well, on my undergraduate. They couldn't stand signatures on your work. You'd always have to either put it on the back or just don't put it on at all. Right, what do we have here? I don't know whether this was for my A level or whether this was my B Tech. I've got some text on it too. Let's see how dumb I sounded. Here are 2 mock pieces of my final piece. I used various materials and medias to create an image of a plant. The primary technique is stenciling, but using ink and spray paint, I used a mixture of techniques and medias to see which worked and which didn't, so that my final piece wouldn't be ruined by experimental impulses. With this mock piece, I used ink and bleach backgrounds, masking tape, ink and spray paint. I used a yellow ink to wash over the top of the background so that the black spray paint really stood out. I also ripped off the edge of the paper to add more elements of texture. Well done me. You can tell I've always been very simple at describing things. Nothing's changed, to be fair. With my second mock piece, I used corrugated card, paper, acrylics, graphite, emulsion, and inks. I used inks for my stenciled image, but I don't think it has worked as well. I do like the layered textured effect. Yeah, it's a bit messy, that one. This one's a little bit more defined. What the hell is that? Oh, it's this way. Yeah, it's another life drawn class because I can tell they're the feet and they're just little whisks, and then I've got the sock puppet hands up there. I think this is an arse. I think they're the cheeks. I'm not sure what this is up here. I've used brown ink to paint an arse. And the final one, another life drawn class, and she's lying down on some fabric. I think I've used charcoal for this one. No, I haven't. I've used chalks because I've got some white in there as well. So I've used the pastels, the black pastel and the white pastel. And again, I can't draw feet. And that's it. So that was me revisiting my old art portfolio. And it was actually really nice to see some of my old artwork. I know a lot of it's very similar. It's a lot of the butterfly thing and the life drawn and the still life drawn. I do remember I used to have a lot more artwork, but I've either misplaced it or got rid of it, or I don't know where I've put it. I used to have a ton of old sketchbooks, but some of that work actually got me a position at DMU when I applied at the time. And DMU's short for De Montfort University. I actually applied for 5 unis at the time. I got rejected from Manchester, I got rejected from Brighton, I got a place at Coventry, I got a place at Bedfordshire, and then I got a place at De Montfort. And when I went down to see the University of Bedfordshire, it was absolutely awful. I don't know whether it's changed now, but it was horrendous. And that was the first one I got accepted to. And I said to myself at the time, if I don't get accepted into a different university, I'm just not going. So I was really worried at the time because I'd already been declined by 2 and they were my top picks. My very first pick was Manchester and then it was Brighton. And then the other 3 I just went down the list and just picked them at random. Which you shouldn't really do. But then I went to De Montfort University and I got a place there and I had an interview the following week at Coventry and people were saying, oh, Coventry's just a crapper version of DMU, so I wouldn't bother. So I just took their advice and I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just go to DMU. And I remember when I got accepted and drove down there, I hadn't actually looked around the city before or anything. I didn't know absolutely anything to do with the place. When I went for my interview, I literally just drove to the university, had the interview, got accepted, and then drove back home. So when I was first moving there, it was a shock. It was a huge shock because I remember just sitting in my dorm room. In the UK, we have things called halls of residence. And I was sharing my halls with 9 other guys. And I remember just sitting in my little room on my own being like, what have I done? But fortunately, we all adapt and make friends and figure things out. And it was an interesting 3 years. Definitely was. I'm going to be feeling very sentimental and nostalgic all day now. I don't think that's a good idea. But if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you next week for a brand new video. Bye!